Good morning, everybody, and welcome back to my channel. Thanks so much for joining me again. In honor of my top 3 facts as a provider post, I wanna go more into depth on microneedling. Microneedling is one of my all-time favorite treatments. I really believe that with good injections like Botox and fillers, a good skincare regimen, some peels, and some microneedling, you're set. It's really all you need unless we're treating something very, very specific. It's an electric pen that on the tip of it has a bunch of little teeny tiny needles that when we turn it on goes in and out really, really fast, which you can see right here. And we take this and we drag it across the skin. All that is happening when we do this is that those little tiny needles are creating little teeny tiny micro channels or micro holes in the skin. And this does multiple different things. So one, this creates traumas to the skin, which then in turn creates a wound response. Anytime you have a wound, your collagen gets ramped up, your elastin gets ramped up, and this works to basically heal the wound. So it really highly stimulates your collagen and elastin production, which we all know helps to give the youth back to the face. It reduces fine lines, wrinkles, all that good stuff. But the other thing that it does is by creating these little tiny micro channels, it allows us to put a product on over top or afterwards that will be able to penetrate deeper into the skin to create more of an effect. So I'd say the most basic product that people would use would be a pure hyaluronic acid. So hyaluronic acid is a naturally occurring substance in your body. It holds 1,000 times its weight in water, so it's a true moisturizer. It just gives hydration to the skin without adding a bunch of excessive oil or other ingredients. And I'd say it's probably the most basic ingredient you could use to perform the microneedling. You're probably gonna have the most amount of downtime with this because there's nothing in it to help to heal the skin faster. A bump up from the hyaluronic acid would be to use a growth factor. So some kind of synthetic form of growth factor. When it gets into those little micro channels that we make with the microneedling pen, growth factors in the skin basically stimulate more collagen and more elastin and just give you even more of an oomph to the treatment. Also, growth factors help to heal you faster, so it significantly decreases the amount of downtime you have with the procedure. And finally, the best thing you could do, or the best thing you could use, liquid gold as I call it, would be PRP. So that stands for platelet-rich plasma. Basically, what we do is we take your blood, we put it into a centrifuge and we spin it really fast for about 10 minutes, and it separates the red blood cells from all of your plasma. And in that plasma contains platelets and all of your natural growth factors that we can then use on the skin. So I like to use PRP as my slip agent. So I put some on the skin and I actually microneedle it into the skin. And then after I'm done microneedling, I like to put another coat of it over the entire face. And finally, I like to inject PRP. So that's what's really great about using the PRP. With a synthetic growth factor, you can inject those. Injecting PRP is putting that growth factor directly into the deeper layers of the skin to really even more stimulate that collagen production. So my favorite place to use it is underneath the eye. So anytime I microneedle, I really make sure I'm getting right up to that lash line with the pen. And then at the end, I like to go back and just do little micro injections, just little aliquots all over this area. And the results to the under eye area in terms of that crepiness that people, think they can get rid of with Botox, the results are just amazing. So PRP is probably the best way you could go. It's going to give you the least amount of downtime. It's going to give you the most amount of results. It's going to give you the most collagen production. And if you inject it on top of all of that, again, even more collagen production. The great thing about PRP is you don't really have to worry about any type of an allergy because it's your own natural tissue from your body. If you've had any kind of history of cancer or you have an autoimmune disease, I usually recommend against using PRP just because that can cause a lot of other problems. A lot of people get really scared and they're like, whoa, you're gonna go all over my face with a bunch of needles? I can barely stand to get my flu shot every year. But it really is not that painful of a treatment. We start by numbing the entire face with a pretty heavy numbing cream. I usually like to let that sit on for about 20 to 30 minutes. It's very, very tolerable, so don't let that deter you away from trying it. Most people really think, oh, I'm gonna have like a week of downtime, I'm gonna have to take off time from work. No way that I can do this. Not the case at all. Even if you're just using a hyaluronic acid and you're not putting any growth factor or PRP into the equation, most people only have, 2-3 days of downtime. Usually they leave the clinic looking a little bit beat up because it's, fresh, but starting the next morning, it just really looks like a bad sunburn. If you're incorporating in a growth factor or especially PRP, that's gonna reduce your downtime even more. I've had some patients who even that night, when they go home and wash their face, they're like, I just look a little bit pink like I have a sunburn. Microneedling is a treatment that basically can target any issue you have in the skin. The number one thing I like to use it for is for acne scarring. It's really one of the only treatments that can reduce pore size. There's tons of creams and lasers and things out there that will try to claim that, but really microneedling or like a deeper resurfacing laser are really the only type of treatments that I feel really get a result with that. It smooths out the texture of the skin, so your makeup applies more beautifully. You just have a very smooth palette. It can help with hyperpigmentation or like age spots, brown spots. It can help with stretch marks. It doesn't get rid of stretch marks, but it can help improve the appearance of them. It helps your products that you're using at home penetrate the skin better. It can literally help everything. Fine lines, wrinkles. It's not going to take away a nasolabial fold, but repeated treatments and injections of PRP into the area definitely can soften the area. So whatever concern you have with your skin, microneedling can be a solution. With one treatment, you will see some improvements. You'll see your skin looks more radiant, you just look fresher, more alive. It usually takes about 4 weeks to really see that, to get that collagen going. But to really make drastic changes to the skin, you really should do at least a series of 3, if not more. It's some kind of magical treatment that seems too good to be true, but it isn't. It is one of those treatments that I have no problem pretty much guaranteeing results to my patients because it just works. So I really hope that you guys give it a try. Once again, thanks so much for joining me today. Don't forget to subscribe to my channel and like this video, and I can't wait to see you guys next time. Have a good rest of your day. Bye.